or let's say the general steps, okay, in hemostasis. So first, let's talk about the expected outcome. So we'll talk about the different components of the hemostatic mechanism. Then we'll differentiate what normal hemostasis is, what is expected of it, and what will happen if there will be imbalance. So that is hypocoagulation and hypercoagulation. And then what are the different systems that interact to provide hemostasis? So let's start with the hemostasis. So let us define, as we've mentioned before, when you say hemostasis, that is the equilibrium between coagulation and fibrinolysis. So ibig sabihin, the coagulation and the fibrinolysis should be equal para ma-stop yung blood flow. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, para ma-stop yung bleeding, para walang mangyaring bleeding. Okay? So, let's talk about the hemostatic component. So, there are three major components that starts with the extravascular, vascular, and then the platelets and the protein. So, pag sinabi natin extravascular, yun yung tissue surrounding the blood vessel. Blood vessels are also involved. That is the vascular component. And of course, the platelet and the plasma proteins. Okay po? Okay, now, let's start with the extravascular. So ano bang role ng tissue? Bakit yung surrounding tissue ay involved din in the hemostatic process? Kasi sila yung nagpo-provide ng um, pressure. Okay? Para hindi na maka-escape palalo yung mga blood from the blood vessel. So, di ba, kaya po na i-initiate ang hemostasis or kaya nagsisimula ang hemostasis because the stimulus is blood vessel injury. So, may nasirang blood vessel. So, yung tissue surrounding the blood vessel that was injured, ang nangyayari, nagsuswell yun, okay? Swell that provides the pressure, back pressure. Kumbaga parang siya yung unang nagpo-provide ng ano bang tawag dito? Support, no? Para hindi na mas marami pa ang maka-escape na blood from the blood vessel. Okay? Now, this ability of your tissue is affected by several factors. So, number one, depende yan sa dami ng tissue surrounding the blood vessel. So, what does that mean? Ibig sabihin, the more tissue present or the more tissue available, the lesser ang bleeding tendency. Kasi the more tissue will support it eh. Okay? But, on the other hand, kung manipis yung tissue, so halimbawa, nangyari yan on the area na manipis lang yung tissue surrounding it. So, of course, lesser ang support, more ang bleeding. Depende din yan sa type ng tissue. Halimbawa, skeletal versus connective tissue. So, syempre, mas absorbent ang skeletal kumpara sa connective. So, kung mas absorbent siya, mas makakapagbigay siya ng support rather than yung connective tissue na hindi ganon ka-absorbent. Elasticity, yung tone ng tissue could also affect, no, yung purpose na yan or yung role niya na yan. Syempre, the more na elastic, the more na tone yung tissue, the more support ang maibibigay, the lesser ang bleeding tendency. Okay po? So, ayan yung mga karakteristik ng tissue na dapat nandyan, no? Para makapagbigay siya ng support sa ating blood vessel. Okay, next. Punta tayo sa blood vessel. So, later, we will discuss about this blood vessel. So, there are three layers of the blood vessel. So, intima, media, adventitia. So, may malalaman ninyo na sa inner lining, so ito yung makikita natin sa intima. Okay? Nandun ang mga endothelial lining. So, sa endothelial cells,
provides procoagulant and anticoagulant. Okay? That supports the process of hemostasis. So, they contribute as well, no? Not only in the primary hemostasis, but also on the secondary hemostasis. Clear? Etong smooth muscle, so ito naman makikita naman natin to sa media, sa gitna. Okay? And ito yung involved sa vasoconstriction. So later explain natin bakit nagkakaroon ng vasoconstriction. Okay? And then finally, yung intravascular component, yung mga platelet at yung mga biochemical components such as yung mga coagulation protein. So ito yung mga coagulation proteins that work hand in hand to promote coagulation. And then finally, yung last process, which is the fibrinolysis. Okay, so let us start with this illustration. So just to give you a very quick overview, kailangan balance ang coagulation at ang fibrinolysis. Diba? Ito yung tinatawag nating normal hemostasis. So as you can see here, di ba? Equal or balance ang coagulation at fibrinolysis process natin. So that is with the support of that is in cooperation or collaboration of the different components such as the blood vessel, yung endothelial cell, yung platelets, yung coagulation system. Pag sinabi natin coagulation system, yan po yung ating coagulation proteins. So they work together to maintain the balance, right? Kasi kung magiging imbalance yung coagulation at fibrinolysis, let's say for example, no? Mas marami ang nangyaring coagulation. Yan. Compared sa fibrinolysis, the platelets also are increased, let's say. So anong nangyari? Tanggalin muna natin to para hindi kayo malito. Okay. So, ano nangyari? May na-form na thrombosis. Ito yung tinatawag natin na hypercoagulable state. Okay? Hypercoagulable state. On the other hand, kabaliktaran ang nangyari, no? Mas marami ang fibrinolysis compared sa coagulation. And at this time, mas mababa ang platelet count mo. So, anong nangyari? Ito naman ay bleeding. Okay? Or yung tinatawag natin na hypocoagulable state. Okay? Marami naman po ang fibrinolysis. Ibig sabihin, hindi ka nakaka-form ng clot. So therefore, mataas ang bleeding tendency. Yan ang hypocoagulable state. So, of course, we don't want that to happen, right? We don't want that to happen. So, kaya nga, dapat ma-maintain natin ang normal hemostasis. Okay. So, ma'am, paano kung nangyari ang, paano kung mayroong stimulus? Okay, ito na ang stimulus, blood vessel injury. So, ano pong nangyayari? So, nag-i-initiate ang primary hemostasis natin. Okay, nai-initiate ang primary hemostasis. So, para ma-maintain pa rin natin to ha. So, remember in the primary hemostasis, the white clot is formed. The white clot is made up of aggregated platelets. That's why we call it platelet plug. And then, after ma-form ng platelet plug, ma-form naman or mai-initiate naman ang secondary hemostasis. In this type of hemostasis or in this type of coagulation, red clot naman ang ma-form natin. And what is red clot? It's made up of fibrin. Kung ang white clot is made up of platelet or aggregated platelets, ang red clot naman is formed by the fibrin. Clear yon? Okay. Next. Okay, so ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na kung walang balance, the excessive bleeding, okay, could result. That is, ang condition, ang tawag, is hypocoagulable state. So in this type of instance, mababa ang coagulation process, mataas ang fibrinolysis. So as you can see here, as I've mentioned earlier, mas mababa ang clot formation or poor or weak ang clot formation, excessive ang fibrinolysis. Sa vaso-occlusion naman, baliktad, mas mataas ang coagulation process compared sa fibrinolysis, meron kang uncontrolled clot formation, no? So, tandaan niyo, pag dire-diretso yung clot formation natin, pwedeng yung mga clot na na-form, magkakaroon ng thrombus. Pag sinabi nating thrombus, yung formed clot. So, pwede po yang magbara sa mga blood vessels natin, especially kung napunta yan sa maliliit na blood vessel, no, made-deprive yung organs natin ng blood, supply ng blood. And what will happen? So, maaaring mamatay yung mga organs natin, mag-fail yung organs natin, and that could lead to death. Okay? So, that is what we call naman as hypercoagulable state. Okay. Now, let us start with the primary hemostasis. Now, ang tawag dito, ang primary hemostasis will be discussed to you by Dean. And I already provided you with the lecture material. It's already uploaded in your Brightspace account. So, ganito po, no? Una, ang stimulus ay blood vessel injury. You understand? So, ano-ano yung mga players natin? Blood vessel, okay, platelet, which is the major player here, no? And plasma protein. So, meron pa rin mga plasma proteins na involved dito, pero konti lang. Hindi katulad doon sa secondary. So, ano bang nangyayari? So, una, si blood vessel, para yan mag-constrict. Okay? So, bakit kailangan ng vasoconstriction? Kasi, kailangan mong malimit yung blood flow. Di ba sa blood vessel dumadaan yung blood? So, syempre, ang tendency niyan, para malimit yung leakage. So, syempre, nabutas, di ba? Yung blood vessel. So, para malimit yung leakage ng blood, magko-constrict. Right? Para ma-reduce yung blood flow. So, if you reduce the blood flow, you reduce also the leakage or the possible leakage. Right? Okay. And then, the platelets naman. Ano naman ang role nila dyan? So, tandaan ninyo, like what I've mentioned before, ang platelets kailangan ma-activate. Di po ba? Kaya nga ang tawag natin sa primary hemostasis, platelet activation. Diba? Or primary hemostasis or platelet function. Kasi it's divided into 3 simultaneous steps. So, nangyayari to simultaneous, pero isa-isahin natin, no? First, mag-a-adhere siya on the site of the injury. So, kakapit siya kay collagen. Kasi, once po na, halimbawa, ito yung blood vessel mo. Once po na nagkaroon ng tawag dito, damage or injury, ma-expose ngayon si collagen. So, na-expose si collagen. Si platelet ngayon, kakapit, mag-a-adhere kay collagen. Okay? So, it's also safe to say that collagen is the activator of primary hemostasis. It's the activator of the primary hemostasis, collagen. Kasi dyan po, nag-a-adhere si platelet. Okay? Kapag nag-adhere na siya dyan, magsisecrete na siya ng mga content niya. Naalala niyo yung primary naalala niyo alpha granule, dense granule, yung content nun marirelease to promote the aggregation. So when you say aggregation, nagdikit-dikit. Kaya nga, di ba, ang tawag natin dun sa white clot na na-form after ng primary hemostasis is platelet plug. Right? Because it's made up of different aggregated platelets. Right? Next. So, tatandaan ninyo, yung mga defects sa primary hemostasis, maggagaling lang din yan sa component ng primary hemostasis. So, halimbawa, kung may problema sa collagen, may problema sa platelet, sa bilang ng platelet, sa quality ng platelet, meaning pag sinabi natin quality, sa structure ng platelet o sa function ng platelet, sira ang primary hemostasis mo. Okay? So, posibleng hindi po gagana ang primary hemostasis kung may problem sa component. Yung von Willebrand, okay, VWF. So, di ba sabi ko kanina, platelet, di ba halimbawa ito yung collagen, ito yung platelet, right? So, di ba sa adhesion, si von Willebrand factor, para siyang bridge between the platelet, the collagen. So, siya yung bridge para mag-bind si collagen at si platelet. Kaya si von Willebrand factor, mahalaga din yan sa primary hemostasis. Okay po? So, after this, so may mappo-form na platelet clot. So, white clot. Okay. Let's proceed to the secondary. Okay. Ano naman ang pinagkaiba ng secondary sa primary? Ang secondary, kung kanina ang na-form ay white clot, dito naman red clot. So, red clot is made up of fibrin. So, saan galing yung fibrin na yan? So, tandaan, sa secondary hemostasis, our goal is to generate thrombin. Okay, ngayon, paano tayo nakakapag-generate ng thrombin? Si thrombin kasi pala ang nagko-convert ng fibrinogen to fibrin. Okay, the major substrate in our blood, no, for the hemostasis to happen is the fibrinogen. Right? Okay. So, paano ba muna to nangyayari? Secondary hemostasis, these are occurring, no, because of the activation of different serine proteases. So, ano ba yung mga serine proteases na yan? Ito po yung mga enzymes, no? Coagulation enzymes na kailangan natin para ma-form ang thrombin, para makapag-generate tayo ng fibrin clot. So, under normal condition, so pag hindi natin kailangan, inactivated talaga sila. Normally, inactivated sila. Hindi po sila dapat, okay, activated kasi or else, kahit wala namang bleeding, kahit wala namang tissue injury, magko-coagulate at magko-coagulate ang blood natin, 'di ba? So, na-activate lang sila once they are needed. Alright? Pero, ang difference ng secondary sa primary, medyo matagal to. Bakit matagal? Ang primary, mabilis. Okay? Kasi readily available ang platelet eh. Okay. Ito, medyo matagal to kasi inactive nga sila, di ba? Under normal condition. So, kailangan mo muna silang i-activate from one protein to another. So, para siyang domino. No? So, pag na-activate yung una, ma-activate yung susunod, then susunod, then susunod, susunod. So, hindi siya nangyayari at once, no? They are activated through cascade of events. Understood po? So, ulitin ko lang. Ang final na kailangan natin na ma-activate dito ay si thrombin. Sa cascade, si thrombin. Para pag may thrombin na tayo, si fibrinogen naman, nandiyan naman yan, readily available naman yan sa plasma natin. So, si thrombin, ma-activate mo yan through several cascades. So, once na-generate na natin si thrombin, ayan na, ma-convert na natin si fibrinogen to fibrin, which is the component of your red clot. And then, of course, kailangan mangyari ang fibrinolysis. So, di ba, yung white clot natin at yung red clot, hindi dapat yan mag-remain sa system natin. It should be lysed. Or else, okay, magre-result yan into several disorders. So, sabi ko nga kanina, maaari yan bumara sa mga blood vessel natin. So, they should be lysed. Okay po? Okay. Next. Okay, these are the differences between the primary and the secondary. Okay, tandaan. Ang primary hemostasis is already enough kapag ang injury ay maliliit lang. So, halimbawa, natuklap yung blood vessel o kaya sobrang liit lang ng injury, kaya na yan ng primary hemostasis. Pero kung masyadong malaki yung injury, alright, kasama pati yung surrounding tissue, kailangan pong ma-activate ang secondary hemostasis. Clear? So, I already mentioned about the components. Okay, the vascular intima, that's the blood vessel. Okay? So, I mentioned also, mabilis ang primary. It's more rapid compared to the secondary, but it's short-lived. Mabilis lang pong yung platelet plug, reversible kasi yun. Madali siyang malyse compared sa secondary hemostasis na red clot. Red clot is more stable compared to the white clot. So, kaya mas long-term yung response niya. Yun nga lang, matagal siyang gawin. Okay? Matagal, delayed. Bakit? Sabi ko nga kanina, kailangan pa natin siyang i-activate from one protein to another. So, it takes time. And I already mentioned about the activator sa primary, that's the collagen. Pag nasira si blood vessel, ma-expose si collagen, makikita ni platelet, activated si platelet. Sa secondary hemostasis naman, tissue factor. Okay, the tissue factor, we will discuss that when we talk about the secondary hemostasis. That would activate the extrinsic pathway of the secondary hemostasis. Okay. Next, ito yung sequence, okay, of events. So, paulit-ulit tayo, no? Kailangan memorize nyo na yan in general kung paano nangyayari ang hemostasis. Sa una, vasoconstriction, right? Magko-constrict ang smooth muscle, di-reduce ang blood flow. Next, ma-activate ang platelet. Primary hemostasis tayo. Platelet adhesion, mag-a-adhere sa collagen, marirelease yung content. After that, mag-aggregate forming platelet plug. Right? So that's called white plug. And then, the secondary hemostasis will be activated. So ano namang mapo-form natin dito? Thrombin. The thrombin will convert fibrinogen to fibrin. Yan naman ang mag-form ng red clot. And by the way, the red clot is stabilized by factor 13. So para hindi rin siya madaling ma-lyse. Okay po? So once na na-form na natin ng white clot at ang red clot, it will undergo fibrinolysis. Clear ba yon? So yun yung sunod-sunod na nangyayari ha. Okay. So yung specific steps kung paano nangyayari ang adhesion, secretion, at saka aggregation will be discussed to you in your on-site lecture. Okay po? Yung sa adhesion, hindi ganun kasimple nangyayari yon. May mga iba't ibang receptor yon. So kaya, sa una niyong discussion, platelet, no, may mga ligands, may mga agonists, doon yung malalaman kung ano-ano yung mga kailangan munang ma-activate sa platelet bago siya mag-adhesion, release, and aggregate. Okay? So that would be in primary hemostasis. But let me start with the blood vessel. Kasi hindi ko na to sinama dun sa discussion ninyo ng primary hemostasis. So dito na natin i-discuss ano bang role ng blood vessel sa coagulation system. Okay, unahin natin ang role ng intact blood vessel. So, syempre siya yung nagkikerry ng blood. Diba? Diyan dumadaan yung flow ng blood. Ngayon, as I mentioned earlier, this is divided into 3 layers. So, meron kang inner, you call it the vascular intima. Middle, you call it the vascular media. And then the outer layer is the vascular adventitia. So, sa inner layer natin makikita ang endothelial cell. Right? Okay, ito po. Okay. So, this is the inner layer. So, makita mo, nasa pinakaloob, ayan ang endothelium. So, the endothelium are made up of endothelial cells, right? Okay. This is the vascular media. Nandyan ang smooth muscle sa gitna. And adventitia. Yan naman yung nasa labas. Okay, i-discuss natin na isa-isa. Ang endothelial cell, marami siyang role actually sa system natin. Immune response, no? Vascular permeability, and we will focus on the hemostasis. Right. So,
endothelial cells when damaged. Okay? Siyempre, pagka nasira ang blood vessel, damay siya hanggang loob yun, di ba? May marirelease po siyang mga procoagulant. Pag sinabi natin procoagulant, ito yung mga nagpo-promote ng coagulation, such as yung PI1, yung collagen, the P-selectin, the ADAM-TS13, the TAFI, etc. Anticoagulant, ito naman yung nag-i-inhibit ng coagulation. Sila nitric oxide, sila TFPI, CTPA, thrombomodulin, etc. Now, ito are involved, these components of the endothelial cells are involved not only in primary hemostasis but also in secondary hemostasis. Malinaw po ba yun? Parehas siyang involved sa primary at secondary. So, hindi na muna natin i-discuss isa-isa yan. Tinabulate or sinamarize muna natin yan in 2 tables, yung mga anticoagulant at procoagulant, so that you're already familiar. So, halimbawa, saan nyo i-expect si collagen tsaka si von Willebrand? That is during the primary hemostasis. But then again, sabi ko nga, hindi lang naman din sila ginagamit sa primary hemostasis. Some of them are utilized in secondary hemostasis. Let's say, for example, your TFPI. So that is involved in the extrinsic pathway of the coagulation during the secondary. So, prostacyclin, ito sa primary to. So, sa iconocyte platelet, iconocyte pathway yan. So, anyway, you will learn in your primary hemostasis na may tatlong pathway para sa activation ng platelet. Okay? So, anyway, i-discuss naman ni Dean yan sa inyo during your on-site. So, what I want you to do is i-familiarize nyo na ngayon pa lang, bago kayo mag-discuss ng primary hemostasis, itong mga anticoagulant and procoagulants na to. So that para may idea na kayo, pagka in-incorporate na siya sa function niya, madali lang nang maiintindihan. Okay?
And then, let's move on to the vascular media. Sa vascular media, ayan, nandyan ang smooth muscle cells. Alright? Para saan yan? Vasoconstriction. So, ibig sabihin, yan ang responsible para sa vasoconstriction. Contractile cells kasi yan. It will contract when injury occurs. And it will also initiate your primary hemostasis. So, involved yan sa primary hemostasis. And then, finally, we have the vascular adventitia. So, ito po ay, by the way, ang smooth muscle cells, tandaan po natin, hindi po ito nakikita sa maliliit na blood vessel, like veins, venules, capillaries. These are only found sa malalaking blood vessels such as arteries and arterioles. So, ibig sabihin, ang vein, venules, capillaries don't have the capability to constrict whenever there is injury. Clear yun, Hindi sila nakakapag-constrict kasi wala silang smooth muscle cells. Okay? But,
itong fibroblasts sa vascular adventitia, makikita natin yan sa lahat. Yan, nagpo-produce siya ng collagen. Okay? It also produces collagen other than the endothelial cell. Fibroblasts in the outer layer of the blood vessel can also produce collagen. Okay? And then these are the different platelet functions which will be discussed to you step by step, by your on-site lecture, which is Dean Basit. Okay? Si Doc B. So, any question po? Tapos tayo naman will discuss about the secondary next week. Tandaan po may quiz po kayo this week with your in your on-site meeting regarding the topics we discussed last time. Hindi pa po ito kasama. Okay, this is not yet included. Basta yung sa last week lang po.
Clear po ba? May tanong po or any clarification?